Hello, everyone. Welcome to The English Cast. I'm Ryan, and we're really happy you're here with us today.
Hi, everyone. I'm Emma. Whether you're listening on your way to work or relaxing at home, this podcast is here to help you feel more confident using real English in real life.
If you enjoy conversations like this, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to The English Cast.
So, Ryan, how was your weekend? Did you do anything fun?
I had a wonderful weekend, Emma. I actually bought a used car, but I made a very funny English mistake when I was trying to drive it.
Oh, getting a new car is so exciting. Please tell me what happened with your mistake.
Well, I was sitting in the driver's seat, and my good friend Jack was sitting right next to me. I was looking at the keys and feeling a little bit confused.
Cars can be confusing when you drive them for the very first time.
Exactly. So I looked over at Jack and I said, Jack, how do I begin this car?
Oh, Ryan, you really asked him how to begin the car?
I did. Jack just looked at me with a big smile. He said, Ryan, it is a car, not a book. You do not begin it. We both laughed so hard about it.
That is a hilarious story, but it is a very natural mistake to make. And it brings us perfectly to our topic for today.
It really does. Today, we're going to talk about the difference between the words start and begin.
These two words are very similar. In many situations, they mean the exact same thing. But there are a few special rules we need to learn.
That is right. Let us jump into the first rule, which is all about machines.
For our simple explanation, when you turn on a machine, an engine, or an electronic device, you must always use the word start.
You never use the word begin for a machine. That is exactly why Jack laughed at my car mistake.
Let me give you a few example sentences to show how this works in real life.
Please do, Emma. Examples are so helpful for my brain.
You can say, please start the washing machine, or I need to start my computer. You could also say, she started the car.
Those are wonderful, clear examples. Now, let us use our picture imagine technique to make this colorful and fun.
I want you to imagine a man named Tom. He is in his kitchen, making a delicious strawberry smoothie for breakfast. He puts all the fresh fruit and cold milk into a big glass blender.
I can picture Tom perfectly. The fruit looks delicious, and a smoothie is a great breakfast.
Then, Tom pushes the bright green button on the front of the machine. He pushes the button to start the blender.
That is a perfect picture. To recap this first rule, a blender is a machine with a motor. Because it is a machine, Tom must use the word start, not begin.
That is a great recap, Ryan. Now let us look at the second rule, which is about formal and informal situations.
I really like this rule. For our simple explanation, start and begin often mean the same thing for activities, but begin sounds much more formal, polite, and serious. Start is much more relaxed and casual.
Yes, begin is for fancy events or official business. Start is for everyday life with your friends.
Let me share a few short example sentences to show the difference in feeling.
I am listening closely, Ryan. Go right ahead.
You might hear someone say, the business meeting will begin at 9 o'clock, or the classical concert begins in 10 minutes. But if you are at home with a friend, you just say, let's start the movie.
Those examples make the difference very clear. Let us paint a picture to show the formal feeling of the word begin.
I want you to imagine a woman named Sarah. She is sitting in a beautiful building, wearing a nice dress for a traditional wedding.
I can imagine the room. It is very quiet, and there are lovely flowers everywhere.
The music plays softly. A man at the front of the room holds a microphone and says, the wedding ceremony will now begin.
That is a beautiful picture. And to recap, a wedding is a highly formal and traditional event. Because it is so official, the speaker uses the word begin to sound respectful.
You summarized that perfectly, Emma. Now, there is a third rule that is very important for everyday English.
Yes, there is. For our simple explanation, when you create a brand new business or a new company, you always use the word start.
That is exactly right. You never use begin when you create a company from nothing.
Let me give our listeners some clear example sentences for this business rule.
Please do. I love learning vocabulary for the business world.
You could say, my sister wants to start a restaurant, or he started a shoe company last year. You can also say, they started a new project at work.
Those are wonderful examples. You always start a business. Let us do a fun picture imagine to lock this into our brains.
I am ready. Paint a colorful picture for us, Ryan.
Imagine a young woman named Lucy. She loves baking sweet chocolate cookies in her small kitchen. Her cookies are so good that she decides to open a small bakery in her town.
I can almost smell the warm chocolate cookies. Lucy sounds like a very talented baker.
She really is. She opens the doors to her new shop on Monday morning. She starts a new business selling her wonderful treats to the neighborhood.
That is a great scenario. To recap this rule, because Lucy is creating a brand new company, she uses the word start.
That is an excellent recap, Emma. We have one more simple rule to share with our listeners today.
We do. For our simple explanation, when you talk about leaving for a long trip or a physical journey, you usually use the word start.
That is right. Saying you are going to begin a trip just sounds a little bit strange and unnatural to native English speakers.
Let me give a couple of short example sentences to show how this sounds naturally.
Go right ahead, Emma. I am ready for the examples.
You might say, we need to start our trip early tomorrow, or they started their long journey at sunrise. You could also say, she starts her road trip today.
Those are perfect. Let us use a picture imagine to show this travel rule in action.
Imagine two best friends, Jack and Anna. They are packing their car for a fun road trip to the beach. It is 5 o'clock in the morning, and the sky is still completely dark.
I can picture them easily. They probably have towels, sunglasses, and snacks in the back of the car.
They get in the car and put their seatbelts on. They start their journey before the sun comes up so they can beat the traffic.
That sounds like a really fun road trip. To recap, because Jack and Anna are leaving for a physical trip on the road, they use the word start.
That recap is spot on, Ryan. These rules make it so much easier to choose the right word in everyday conversation.
They really do. You start machines, you start businesses, and you start journeys. But you use begin for very formal events.
And if you just want to play a game or watch a movie with your friends, you can use start because it is casual and relaxed.
If I knew these simple rules yesterday, I would have told Jack to start the car instead of asking how to begin it.
Well, your funny mistake gave us a wonderful lesson for today. We always learn from our happy mistakes.
We certainly do. I feel much more confident using these two words now, and I know our listeners do too.
I am so glad. English really is just about painting pictures and practicing step by step.
Well, that is all the time we have for today's episode. Thank you so much for listening.
Thanks for spending your time with us. Keep practicing, stay curious, learn, speak, connect.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you in the next episode.